love you, this, that, kissing me goodnight through the phone on FaceTime, dog. You know how deep in love you gotta be to fall asleep on FaceTime? You in the trenches of love, dog. FaceTime audio calls, wondering why your phone's so hot next to your face, waking up in the morning sweating. What's up, y'all? Dark Show TCG here, back with another video. Today I got for you my EB02 Luchi gameplay guide, deck breakdown video thing, Realistically, I think Luchi is just one of like the best decks in the format. He has such a good matchup in the green purple Luffy, especially if you go second and then just stick this Kuzan on 4 Dawn. Even if the opponent on their 5 Dawn turn plays like their 4 cost Rush Zoro to tap this, Kuzan was the only unit you played, so that the Zoro doesn't even get rushed. So they're swinging 6k, Hopefully you have a 2k to protect it. If you do, then this is just like deterring your opponent from playing any Sanchi puddings in the early game. I know it's weird, but it just feels that like Luchi's green purple Luffy matchup may have just gotten better post ban. And I talk about this in one of my matches, but I think one of the reasons why the matchup has gotten better is because a lot of your cost reduction is repeatable and it's tied to bodies, meaning that previously you would play like Ice Age, Tempest Kick, and like if you didn't see them, you were kind of screwed. But now these Kuzans and these Laboons, if you don't deal with them, they get so much value over the course of the game because it's repeated cost reduction, meaning you just need to see like your KO. And Luchi isn't sort of KO at all in this list, right? We have 3 cost Brook, 4 cost Luchi, 8 cost Sabo, Jack, Kuzan. We have a lot of sources of KO in this deck, and Rebecca can grab Brook, she can grab Spandine to play your Luchi. She can also grab a Jack that you may have milled so you can develop your Jack. And I'm gonna be fully transparent here. I'm not like the Luchi guy or the Luchi connoisseur. I sort of just threw together a whole bunch of cards that I've seen people are playing that I think are good. So these ratios are kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh-ish. I have a whole bunch of 3-ofs. It's still a Yu-Gi-Oh player in me. But I'm not really like a good deck builder either. But like I said, just threw these cards together, and hand to God, I just queued up 3 ranked games in a row and I won all 3 in a row. So like normally when I try and record content for some of these videos, I play a few games and I just take the wins, but I just played 3 games with this leader and just won, right? I'm at like I'm not like at Billionberry Bounty. I'm at like 600 million, however much, whatever million bounty. So I'm like middle of the pack. I'm like fighting your average ranked bounty player or whatever. But yeah, I just think that this deck is really strong. If you dodge Blackbeard, I don't think this deck has any bad matchups. Like if you dodge Blackbeard and you don't get like high rolled by Shanks and you don't low roll, I think this is one of the strongest decks in the format if it just works. And I think hopefully today's video will just show that. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Let me know what you guys think about the Luchi and EB02 in the comments. Okay, game 1, we're up against the EB01 Terror green purple Luffy. We won the die roll. We're gonna go second. We have Kuzan and like Brook in our hand, so we keep. We top deck 10s on because we're good at the game. A lot of Luffy's like they don't really have a 3 Dawn turn, so like he can either be on Frankie or maybe Zoro, but I'm expecting him to just search, play stage, stuff like that, swing. Yeah, we're Luchi, so we have no problem taking like the first few life to look for pieces. It's a very we swing first so it doesn't get tapped by like Luna Trigger. Mill to Philip Trash a little bit, play the Kuzan on curve, and if you can't deal with it, you kind of just lose. Opponent feeds me a Sanji pudding here. We got to make sure to thank our opponent for the meal. Once again, we just take. Got a Sabo. Play Frankie. I think we have 4 cost, and yeah, we have 4 cost Luchi in hand. So we just swing. Yeah, we can swing 6s at him, as well as like threatening. We're like removing his board.
And that you could, for example, have the power.
They don't have the stage on board.
To dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes.
Yeah, time to fill up that subtraction sheet. Make that a 1. Attach 1 to leader. 6. Make that a 2. Play 4 cost. Return non-Rebecca targets. Clear both. Pass. There's not much insight I can really like offer on the deck, right? The goal of Luchi is just to remove 1 to 2 things per turn while establishing your own board, and then just like continuously threatening your opponent's life, right? As a control deck, I don't necessarily play the same game as you. I'm not playing traditional One Piece, you know. So my opponent does have stage and another Sanji pudding. They get Zorojuro, just I think the 4 cost off of their Nami search. I'm on 8 Dawn. I think I just like defend the Kuzan here if they jam into it. Yeah, they're swinging 8. I don't have any 2Ks. So I'm just gonna protect it. I remember thinking here for a while, so I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna end up protecting it. I give pretty much everything but like Rebecca and Laboon, because I need the Laboon to put it in range, to put the Sanji pudding in range of my next KO. Yeah, and then the man Sherry. Yep. So they double increase the Sanji pudding. All that does is just makes my numbers cleaner for when I minus it by 4 twice. And we need all 8 of our Dawn here, so we're not threatening leader. Yeah. So it's gonna be like Laboon minus 4 to the Spud. Kuzan, swing face minus another 4 to the Spud. And then Rebecca Brook.
Within 1 night to dream 75 years of time.
We should swing here just so we can add more cards to trash so that Tempest Kick is live after another mill next turn.
Naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes.
They play their 3rd Spud. Shout out my opponent. 3 potatoes in hand. No searcher for him. So they search their blocker. I don't think there's much like because Luffy hasn't done like Luffy Taro, and you have no other swings, so we don't mind giving the blocker. It's just freeing up board space. I think we just jam the 10s on. Like, even though we aren't killing the Spud, we just jam 10s on. We're at a decent life total. They have this whole board to worry about, so I doubt they're gonna go face. Another thing too about like Luchi now is that a lot of his removal or his cost reduction in the past wasn't tied to bodies, meaning that you can just like hit Luchi in the face and not really have to care about the units he develops. And then like Luchi would just like stabilize on Moria. But now, since a lot of his cost reduction is through bodies, it isn't just quite like the face race anymore. You actually have to deal with Luchi's board, because all of his units gain value. And now I'm just like blocking, like all of my units are blockers now, because you have to clear them. But I don't really care if my opponent's trading into board, because I have this 10s on board. The game's functionally like over, right? Because his 10s on says as long as I have KO in hand, I don't need any more cost reduction. The highest cost thing in his deck is a 7, but it's a bit too slow to play right now.
And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive.
Yeah, so once again, they're just trading in the board. Another thing about like black is too, as a color, is that like a lot of these bodies that are in trash, we can just get them back with Rebecca. So they search Giant with Zorojuro. Both of those units are in range of this 8-cost Sabo in my hand. Like Kuzan Sabo is like one of the strongest like 2-turn combos in this game right now. It's insane. Right? This is the Moria at home, right? This is great value Moria. Unfortunately, we don't get to establish a blocker while killing like 14 Dawn worth of stats for 8 for 10, but hey, you know, you spend 18 Dawn to clear 11 Dawn worth of stats, and we get 2 big bodies out of it, so I ain't super mad at it. I'm thinking for a while, but this is just I'm probably thinking on like which card to like pitch off the Sabo, right? And since I'm at 3 life and we're killing the Rush Luffy, it's most likely gonna be a 2K. But you can make an argument for Tempest Kick. However, like Tempest Kick can just draw me into another combo piece. Yeah, so we just cleared our Rusher and the Spud. Yeah, we swing 7. We don't really need to mill, but we milled anyway. And then my opponent gianting on a 7K swing makes me think that they have no counter. So now my opponent has to either kill me or establish a lot of blockers this turn. I also think they think on this turn for a little bit, so we're gonna
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream
go for a while.
And that you could, for example,
So they swing 6 at me. Because I'm awake, I feel like you should just counter, because I can just get bricks in life and die, right, to rush Luffy.
And you would naturally, as you began,
and now I just can't die, because they don't have enough swings. They needed exactly all 4 swings to hit.
Every kind of pleasure you could conceive.
I think they're thinking about it, like how else can they get here? Yeah, so if we look at it, what was my life? My life was Khalifa, Jack, and then I think 5 costed Sabo. So if I were to take that 6K hit, I think my opponent's at 8 Dawn. They don't have a Spud. They play 6 cost Luffy. They have 4 Dawn left, 2 for the Spud restand. So they have 2 Dawn left. So I take that 6. By some miracle, I take another 6. And then it is 9-9. I have a 2K. I get this 2K. Jack is a brick, but I already have 2K, 2K, 1K for the last 9. So if I did take that 6, I would have been able to live. And then my opponent spent all of their Dawn, so they wouldn't have been able to live on the crackback. But they have no blocker in hand. They have some counter and a giant, and then giant would have drawn them into more stuff. But I have this 9k, this 10k, this 6 on board, so it's really tough for them. Let's get into the next game. Okay. So second game, another green purple Luffy. We lost the die roll. My opponent chooses to go second. I kind of want to keep this hand, but I think I was looking for Brook because we don't have even curve, so our Kuzan comes down a little late, our Laboon comes down a little late, so we're really just looking for like Brook and Hina. We see a Kuzan, our opponent gets staged off of their search event, they play it immediately. We don't have much to play, so we just swing 8, we mill 2 Hinas, which is good. We have a Rebecca. Now we're just missing Brook, we don't have any KO in our hand. My opponent's looking to like Zorojoro here.
Every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream.
And then swing 5.
And that you could, for example, have the power.
Unfortunately, it looks like they didn't get the 4 cost Zorojoro.
75 years of time.
So they attached 1. And then I guess they're just gonna do some searching.
And you would naturally, as you
so we take the 7.
Adventure of dreams,
they play Chopper. I really don't like Chopper and green purple Luffy. I'm thinking of swinging 6, playing the Kuzan, but I'm like, their leader ability is turned off. So let's just play this Kuzan. Like they have no board. The best thing they can do right now is probably like swing 7 at me with their rusher. Okay, or not, they just swing 7 lead, play Zoro. Because I was able to get a Brook off life and I have Hina in trash, we can just clear this Zorojoro and not swing at them again. So we're once again just like building up our board. Like the downside of not swinging into them is that my trash is empty. So like my 4 cost Luchi doesn't have much fodder. If I were to get a Tempest Kick, the Tempest Kick isn't online anytime soon. However, I am Luchi, like I do just put 2 cards in the trash almost every turn. It's kind of crazy, right? How like Luchi just like his cost is so beneficial to his deck, whereas like Moria is in a similar instance. However, you have to pitch a card from hand. Imagine if Moria if you just didn't have to pitch the card from hand. Or if it was like Sokka, where like you discard a card, then you draw a card. So you aren't just going hand neg. Anyway, off the tangent. We're countering here because my opponent can rush. Right? Yeah. I think we block. Yeah, we don't really want to take this 7. And then he's restanding anyway. Or we take the 7 and then we see what he does next. Because if we block here, he can go into board. Yeah, so now we block since he went life again. And I don't think I can clear this without swinging because that's an 8. So unfortunately, we're going to have to give him his leader ability back. But we're going to have like double Kuzan, right? Or no, we're going to have to play Laboon here.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream.
Right?
And that you could,
it's an 8. We minus 4. It's a 4. We have 2 more. Oh, we actually don't have to play Laboon here. You can just play Luchi.
As you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes.
And then since he hasn't been able to use leader ability, these base 5k swings are gonna hurt. Like hurt his hand or hurt his life. So yeah, you always insta block with the chopper. Attach 1, swing 5. They give me a Frankie. Swing another 5. Mill 2. So now it's a 2 cost. Because it's a 2 cost, we can play our good old Rob Lucci. And we're going to send like pretty much just non-Rebecca targets, as much non-Rebecca targets as we can afford, right? Because we have a Brook in play, so we don't mind sending a Brook away. But we really want to keep that Hina in trash. Yeah. We're just swinging these 5s. Like, if he Lunas me, sure. We have like a Kuzan active. We're just missing more KO. But like, worst case, we can play like Man Sherry over the Brook. And then Man Sherry to get me back a Rebecca. And then Rebecca can play the Brook, right? That's second hand shenanigans, you know. our trash is our second hand, so we can just do that. Our opponent plays Spud, uses leader ability, stages the Spud up to 7. You know, a Sabo or a Kuzan would just like win the game on the spot here, for me at least. I also have a lot of counter in hand. I was fortunate to draw my 2Ks. I think my opponent thinks for a while here, so he might. Okay, I'm sorry, spoilers. I'm just impatient. So they swing 6. Play the Sanji blocker. Lunas. We just top deck the Sabo because we're good at the game. So it's a 7. We can -4 to it, make it a 3. And then we can -1 to the Sanji and make it a 5. And that's a 5 and a 3 for Sabo. And then we can just like attach 1 Don to each of our 5Ks and just swing out 6 3 times. We're gonna swing with the Kuzan first.
And you would naturally, as you began,
because they never like want to block just like bare swings, right? Especially if their leader's already a 6K.
You would have every kind of pleasure.
They gave me a 2K for that. I mean, that deck just runs a lot of 2Ks, right? Minus that. And then we're gonna play over the Hina. Yeah. Just so that we have like another Hina in trash. Get rid of a 2K. I think we get rid of a Man Sherry actually. The reason why I did a 2K was so that I would have more CP fodder or Cypher Pole fodder in trash in case I wanted to like span down, play over my Luchi and do some second hand shenanigans. My opponent gets up to 1K Nami off the search event from Trigger from Life. They Luna me again. I just have like 2 big swings. And if they're using Luna, then they have 4 Don left. They can play like a Sanji block and leave up 1 for Giant, which would be a really strong turn for them. Chaining Lunas is like how you beat Luchi. Like you chain Lunas and you pray that they miss 1 turn of removal. And then if you're able to stick the board, then you close out with the Rush Luffy. It doesn't look like they have the second Luna. They have another Sanji 2K. They're searching with these Namis, Gum Gum Giant. Yeah, their hand may not be the best. Swinging 6 at me. I should probably counter out of this. I'd rather just have like the life, right? Yeah. And then they play Zorojuro. So they have 2 2K Sanjis and a Giant. We just have so many swings and so many tall bodies, and we have a backup Sabo too, right? Where like worst come to worst, we can just like minus cost on their important units. But let's just attach some Don. We got like 2 Don to spend. Giant. So I think they have like 1 more Sanji in hand. Yeah, and then they just give up because they only have like 2 more 2Ks. So yeah, if we swing 6 here with the Kuzan, we get to minus this by 4 and make it a 3. And then like our Sabo is in range and we can just like play over the Luchi, KO both, leave these up, and then just kill them next turn, right? Because like even if they have Rush Luffy, they only have leader swing Rush Luffy, and we just have a bunch of counter in hand. Life was, I can't really see. That's like one-legged toy soldier, and I think I can't see what that last card is, but it's another 2K in life. So we just need to count out of 1 swing next turn to live. All right, let's get to this last game. Last game is up against Marco. We won the die roll. We're going second. This hand is okay, but I think I just want to look for like Kuzan stuff, right? Because Marco's, they aren't running like low to the ground removal. They're running like mid-game removal. We have a Tenzon, which feels good. We also have a Laboon. Like with the way the deck is built, we like have 6 4s. So it feels good to see 4s. I'm thinking if I need to like try and overreact and like kill this Ivankov. We can't kill it really because we don't have enough cards in trash for 4 cost. So we're just gonna swing, use leader ability and play Laboon. Most likely, yeah, we just played Laboon. And we also remember, like, we saw that like the new gate was on the top of their deck and they left it at the top, so they're gonna have a new gate how much on that next turn. So we know the Laboon isn't long for this world, so we should just get the most value out of it this turn. Yeah, my opponent Ivankov's to play a Duval off the top. They stack that Duval with leader ability. Duval's gonna do more stacking. We got an 8 cost Sabo. This turn I'm having a little bit of a moral dilemma as to like how I should approach this clear, if it's worth clearing or not. But the Ivankovs and everything just give too much advantage over the course of the game. I think we should clear these. Like on all the games I used to play on Marco, whenever my Luchi opponent cleared my Ivankov stuff, it just felt really bad. Because other decks, if they can't clear the Ivankov stuff, it gets you so much advantage because you're just like drawing cards as well as your opponent's attacking into them. You know, these guys are just like little removal magnets. Yeah, so we subtract that, make that a 0, make that other one a 2, get out 4 cost, remove both of them, put away all the non-Rebecca targets. Rebecca is not a Rebecca target, so she goes. Next turn is 8 Dawn. So unless they, but it's looking like they're gonna play like a new gate, and I don't think we can remove that new gate. So sorry. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm getting a little sick, but we ball. We got to push this content. I can't wait to go to locals tonight and just lose to Luchi. So my opponent new gates, and this is actually a pretty interesting new gate here, or a pretty interesting swing here, because if I were to just let that swing go to my board gets cleared, because then they'll just use leader ability on Luchi and then clear it with the new gate. So that like forced the card from my hand so that my opponent doesn't clear my board. Really heads up and good play by them. Can I clear this new gate? I just drew a Hina. I have a brick in trash. I have Rebecca in hand. I also have Kaku for like some cost reduction. It's a 7. Hina makes it a 3. Leader makes it a 2. And then we can probably just clear with Luchi, because we're missing the extra 1 for the to make it like a 1 cost, so that brick can KO it. Yeah, so we swing out with this Luchi first for like triggers. We should swing first before playing the Hina. Yeah. Get our swings out the way.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that
Give me a 2K. I'm gonna subtract that. Play good old Robert Gucci. Remove the non-Rebecca targets. Yep. Get them out of here.
You would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams,
like even though this like plays into Rayleigh, it's not like a super good Rayleigh. They're clearing 2 here, playing a 1. I still have a body on board. I'm at 3 life, you know. Like, because I know Luchi is like the superior control deck, I'm not super pressed. I'm thinking about countering for this Luchi here, but I don't necessarily win with board as Luchi, right? So I can afford to let my units die. Like black can win without a board, so yeah, we just let it go. Bro, this deck, bro, just like, yeah, man, just stick the 10s on, bro. Just put the 10s on in the bag, bro. 3 life, 2 swings coming at me. Stick the 10s on in the bag, bro. Unless you're on Red Rock, I don't need to hear anything from you. Cause like Shanks and Mark are like the only decks that can threaten this 10s on. But I don't know if people are on Bomb Shanks. Like, yeah, we get this 2K here, bro. And then they do Sanji into Ace. We don't have any 2Ks, so we're gonna have to take this 2 life here. Keep the Tempest Kick. Sure. We just played the Sabo here, remove the 2 9-drops. And we trade into that Ace. I was thinking about playing second 10s on here, but second 10s on doesn't clear. It doesn't clear 2 units. I'm happy that this Sabo card is getting like some play. It was one of my like favorite cards. It just does what it does. Like, it's a working class secret, bro. He does what you tell him to do. No frills, man. He KOs 2 things. You know?
Let's suppose that you were able every
and then, yeah, let's do 10 into the Ace. Because that way it's 3 cards, and then we can hit it for like 6 twice. Otherwise, we're just jamming face, right? Tempest Kick, potentially draw us out of it. Get us some counter in case he has like another rush unit. If he gets a rush Ace, he has like 6 Dawn or 5 Dawn left. It's 10, 16, it's 8-8. I have 4 1Ks in my hand, so I can counter an 8. So even if he did get like the 5 cost Ace, he just loses still. Hold on. If he were to get 5 cost Ace, he loses still because I have the 4 1Ks. He's scooped because he doesn't have rush, and then I have 10s on board, and he can't remove my 10s on. So like no matter what he establishes, he can't really clear anything, right? He can't clear. If he can't clear 10s on, anything on his board just gets removed because I follow up with a second Sabo, and you know, it's just downhill from there. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the Luchi gameplay. I honestly would be very hard pressed if this deck just like doesn't win or have a strong showing for the upcoming like EB01 mini format. It's a very uphill battle for like green purple Luffy to beat this deck. With people scared to bring Teach into the format, I think Luchi just has free reign. BY Luffy isn't the deck anymore since they banned Moria. Outside of Blackbeard, Luchi just has, I don't think, any bad matchups right now. So I don't know what's stopping this deck right now. Let me know what you guys think about Luchi in this EB pocket format in the comments below, man. Y'all have a good one.